think something amazing is about to happen! Yes, I think that too!
We're about to get a welcome you'll never forget.
What I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that I'm sinning, and this is just the beginning. I'm closing in and not getting. There ain't no point in resisting. Living life like a dream, live it right, that's the thing. Every night got a team, I've been tied to the scene. Out on stage, here on screen. Okay, it's a dream, and I pray as a team. One day it'll be me. If I want it, then I'll get it. Hey, Dad, try to get it. Push myself to the limit. If I play it, then I win it. I'm just saying, I'm just living for today.
Welcome back to Camp Geek Squad. I'm Camp Director, and today is a Halloween special. And ironically, not just Halloween is in the time of year, but also Halloween is in the movie, horror movie Halloween. Now, this idea I had from before I watched Halloween Kills, and actually early hours this morning, I saw these two things on TikTok saying who would win, Batman or Michael or Jason or Michael. Now I'm going to go over out of those three who would win, in one-on-one fights with each other, and explain why. Now, I think first it's best to cover the two horror icons and a fight versus them and how that would play out, because that's been debated over the years, and then do them versus Batman and see how that works out. If that's okay with you, that is. Now, I'm going to start this off with Jason versus Michael, as I just said. And I'm going to start this off by saying I do prefer the Halloween franchise and Michael Myers. Michael Myers is my favourite horror movie villain. And in fact, Halloween franchise is my favourite franchise, horror franchise. And I've recently watched Halloween Kills. But having said that, I am going to go into this unbiased. Now, if we're going to talk about Jason, we have to talk about his two versions, canonical versions. Undead Jason and Human Jason. And both of them have completely different outcomes. And here's why. Now, by the way, just saying, this will contain spoilers for any and all canonical movies. So what I mean by that is I'm going over all of Jason's movies and all of Michael Myers' movies. But when I say all of Michael Myers, I don't mean all of them. I mean all canonical currently, which is 1978 Halloween, 2018 Halloween, and Halloween Kills. So spoilers ahead of time. Now, I would like to say, we're going to start off with human versions. Now, if we're talking about the human versions, Michael is faster, stronger, or arguably stronger, more durable, more skilled, and more intelligent than Jason. And I'm going to explain so right now. Now, Michael Myers is able to take... In Halloween Kills, this takes place the same night he just got trapped and burnt in a house, etc., and went through all of that malarkey in Halloween 2018. So in Halloween 2018, he escapes. He goes on a murder rampage, which means he's got shot in the fingers, he's been stabbed and shot a few times, and he's now just been burnt. But he gets out of there, killing firefighters, goes outside, there's a group of firefighters, and he takes a water hose straight to the body as if it was nothing, just like it was a water gun. Now, for those of you who don't know, if you get hit by a fire hose, it could kill you, it could rip your skin off, and he just stood there and took it like a champ, and then he slaughtered those firefighters while like they were sheep, to slaughter. And he lifted, as you can see in this photo here, he impaled one of them and lifted them up with minimal effort. He's been able to toss around people as if they were nothing. He treats them all like they're nothing to him, like it's like you're picking up a pillow or a teddy, doesn't weigh anything to you. And he's constantly sneaking up on people. He's ruthless. He's brutal. Now, Jason is very strong. Now, do not get me wrong at all. Jason is incredibly strong and durable. But I do not think he is faster than Michael. He is definitely not as skilled as Michael. Jason just relies on pure strength and durability. He comes up to people and he stabs them, often getting them by surprise. But like when they're not expecting, impales them, etc. Now he's very strong. He can break people's heads, and when he's zombified, he can punch them off. But at this point, he can squeeze people's heads together, kill them, stab them right through in one clean go with a pole thing. So he's very strong. But I would say he's not on par with Halloween Kills Michael in terms of strength, who casually tosses people around and kills them easily. And once he grips you, you're dead. There's no escape. Having said that, I would say they're very close in strength. You could give the edge to Jason. In terms of durability, it is Michael, especially in Halloween Kills. He's been going for over a day now, killing people. He's been attacked, he's been shot, he's been burnt, he's been shot again in the neck, he's been stabbed, and he's been beaten by at least 5 to 10 people, if not maybe more, with instruments like one person had an iron, but there's been crowbars, baseball bats, anything you can think of has been used to bash him down. And he got up and slaughtered them all. He is insanely durable at this point. He doesn't seem to flinch. And it's been the same since the beginning. He's been shot, he's been burned, etc. And this is a 70-year-old Jason. No, not Jason. This is a 70-year-old Michael who has been inactive since 1978. So he's extremely powerful and dangerous, especially for his age. But he's faster as well. He's more ruthless with his attacks. And what I mean by that is Jason will just use strength, right? Just put all his strength into an attack and, until you're dead, which is, and he often kills you in one go, or he, insane strength. Anyway, Michael, on the other hand, when I say he's vicious, I mean he uses his strength, but he does it quickly as well. Like when he's stabbing you, for example, he stabs you in the keen place, holds you up, you're dying. But when he attacks you, for example, there's scenes where he attacks people in the neck and it's just stabbing, brutally, quickly, and effectively. He's definitely more intelligent with the way he fights as well. So how would this play out? Now, the way I can see this going is if we put it a one-on-one fight, random location, or it doesn't matter about the location, if you put one-on-one right in front of each other, both given their signature weapon. Kitchen's knife, butcher knife thing that you always see with Michael Myers, and a machete for Jason, who wins. If we're talking about human vision here, it would be Michael. And the way I see it going down is Jason would swing his machete, catch Michael probably around the shoulder. Michael won't flinch, and he will just grab Jason and start stabbing him probably in the throat, at the very least the stomach, but probably in the throat or head, and grab him and just manhandle him, and he will kill Jason. It does not matter how strong you are, how strong and durable he is, we can still see Jason dying. He was killed by a kid due to blunt force trauma and his own machete through his skull. So obviously he can be killed in human form, and Michael is more durable and more ruthless. So with his one hit, don't get me wrong, Jason will start fighting back and start to grapple, but once he's got his machete in, Michael will just grab him and stab him through the throat. So that he'll slowly start to bleed out. He'll bleed out and he will struggle and lose strength as the fight goes on. And in that time, Michael will just keep stabbing him, going through all of his grabs, and he'll be just... At the end of it, don't get me wrong, Michael will be injured, but he wins this. But it would be the other way round if it was Immortal Jason. If it was Immortal Jason, he would cut clean through Michael. He could cut clean through Michael. He could probably punch his head off. But I don't think it would go that way. I think he would swing his machete. It would go into Michael. Michael probably wouldn't stop, stab him, and like grab him and stab him. But in that, Jason just wouldn't flinch as well. Grab him and just finish him off. It would be like that. That's how it would go. Next up, we have none other than the Caped Crusader, Batman himself, who would win. Now, I'm going to tell you now, human Jason gets beat by Batman relatively easy. He may be strong, he may be durable, but compared to the likes of Bane, Killer Croc, and what's his name? Solomon Grundy, he doesn't really have much anything else that they don't already have in spades. So he beats Jason. Now, if it was a random fight, Batman would get more hurt. If it was like dropped in front of each other, but Batman would still win and come out relatively unscathed. If it was Jason, if it was like, say, Camp Crystal Lake was in DC, and Batman heard about this, he would go stop it, and he went there, and it was human Jason. He would find out as much as he can beforehand and use probably his weakness of his mother against him and then beat him relatively easily. And I'm going to say something that is going to be very controversial and will probably annoy a lot of you. But I think Batman would struggle more against human normal Michael Myers, than he would against undead Jason. Yeah, I said it. But hear me out. So why would the Crepe Crusader struggle more against Michael than he would against Zombie Jason? Now, hear me out. The reason is, Zombie Jason is a lot like Solomon Grundy. Not that intelligent, not that skilled. Still somewhat skilled, can still use weapons, can still punch, etc. But he is somewhat fast. But he's very durable and very strong. And don't get me wrong, if Batman gets hit by him cleanly, Batman will be very injured at the very least. And if he gets grabbed, he'd be even more of a risk. But the reason is, Batman's face likes Killer Croc, Solomon Grundy, and they are essentially Jason. Solomon Grundy is essentially Jason, but then some, Maybe not as smart as Jason and not as skillful as Jason, but he's a lot stronger and more durable. So he would be able to deal with it. Now, I'm going to say this now. If it was a random drop-in, I say it would be 6-5 that Batman wins. 7-5, 6-4 chance or 7-3 chance Batman wins. If it was Batman had knowledge, it would be pretty much 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 times, if not 10 out of 10, Batman wins. If it was, as I said earlier, he found out about this place, he knew, he would find out, he would go there, he'd get information, and relatively quickly he'd figure out the case. And if it was a random drop-in, he would find out relatively quickly something's up. After a few attacks, he'd get, and he'd be able to beat him. The reason I say he struggles more against Michael is because Michael's more intelligent and more skilled. And if you compare it to the likes of Bane, for example, Batman struggles when someone's both physically stronger than him and at least somewhat capable at fighting, which Michael definitely is. But I'd still say Batman wins the majority of the times there. But I'd say if it was a random drop-in, Batman wins 7 out of probably 6 out of 4 times, 7 out of 4 times. If it was he knew, it would drastically go up in Batman's favour. If Michael grabs him, I think he's dead. Because Jason, while he's very strong, I think Batman could take advantages of more weaknesses, but it'd still be pretty much guaranteed. It'd be like 50-50. But with Michael being skilled and intelligent would realise Batman is more of a threat and would straight away, like snap his neck or stab him, etc. Any of those. But having said that, I still think Batman wins the majority of these times. He's just too skillful and too smart, and he's in peak physical condition, where these guys aren't used to fighting people of that caliber, but Batman's used to fighting people of their caliber. Now, if Michael and Jason were in the DC universe, Michael would rapidly increase his ability and become frightening for a human serial killer. And what I mean by that is he'd be facing tougher opponents. The public will be a bit tougher because they're used to all these type of things. They won't be as scared as easily. And you'd have to constantly be fighting against other serial killers like Zaz. People either other serial killers who think he's getting on their turf, or you'd have to fight against Batman, the Robins, heroes, etc. And doing that, I think you'll become more skilled. And if he becomes more skilled, he'd become very dangerous, and I generally think he could become a threat to Batman. Not a super duper threat or anything, but somewhat of a threat, you know. And I think he'd become one of the best serial killers. Jason, on the other hand, would also have a similar growth, human Jason, but it wouldn't be on the level of Michael. But zombie Jason, if he starts to gain intelligence and skills from living in the DC universe, which he probably will, because since he can't die, he'll be fighting, up against the likes of Batman, probably other superheroes too. He will learn to be smarter and stronger, and that would be frightening. And then he'd be more like Bane, juiced up Bane, not because I think not super duper juiced up Bane is more threatening than juiced up Bane because of his intelligence and his skill. Anyway, that's my thoughts on who I think would win and why. Please let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. If you've seen Halloween Kills, let me know your thoughts. My thoughts on it is that it's not as good as the first two, like the original Halloween and Halloween 2018. Actually, in terms of like plot or anything, but in terms of kills, it was the best there's been in Halloween. Now, I get the original Halloween. I'm saying that, taking into account that the original Halloween was more of a slow-paced one, where the frightening thing was he was always in the background and it was leading up to it. But if I don't take that into account, then this was better than that. But I don't think plot-wise it wasn't as good as the other one. It was more of a filler getting ready for Halloween Ends. But it was one of my favourite Halloweens simply because of how badass Michael is. I've also heard there's a new Scream, so I'm going to go check that out. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Geek Squad, I've been your camp director. Please join me again next week when I'll either do where I might be doing another Halloween special, or if it's completed by then, I'll be doing a versus of Zuko and Todoroki. No, not Todoroki, Leo. And then the following time, next time I do a versus, it'll be Todoroki on one of them, or Todoroki and Esther. I'm still mainly doing Percy Jackson versus Avatar characters as of the moment, but I will do a few additional ones if I think it's a cool premise, like the fire user, the fire user that's skilled at martial arts, the fire user that can eat fire, aka Natsu, the fire wielder that is immune, aka Leo, or the fire user that can also use ice, aka Todoroki. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like. Try and get this video to at least 20 views, and let's try and say five likes. I know it's a lot, but I believe in you guys. Anyway, thank you guys for watching.